This is Garrett Fry, the construction site sequence lead for 3D digital map painting, and we're taking a look at shot 849. So let's go ahead and play that. And you can see we're panning over to the right here, and we're looking at the central part of the construction site. So the areas that we're going to need to fill in with more construction materials is the available open spots. So we have this area right here. We have this area right here in the middle. And then we have this area throughout here. And then we have some area over here that's more at the head of the shot. So as the construction site is getting more and more built up, there's less and less space available to put things. However, we have been given that note to place more things in the open areas because it needs to feel really full. So you do have several different areas to do that in. What I would suggest not doing is putting in objects right where there are people, because you're going to have to roto those people, and if you do, that's additional work. You have several other areas that you can put things into where you're actually hitting the note and you're not creating more work for yourself or for other people. So go ahead and pick one of these locations to do that in, and that would be great. So let's go ahead and take a look at the head of this shot here. So you can see we have this area also down here as well that you can add things into. It's a big gravel area. So for this shot, you can see that the lighting for this shot is kind of coming, it's kind of coming this way into this shot. And so there's not a lot of shadows because the shadows are kind of hiding behind all of the objects. So you're just getting little slivers of shadows here and there. So you can see this little slivers of shadows under this piece of equipment here, under this little walkway, and so you can see it in little tiny select areas. So all the visual cues that you're used to using to make an object feel placed in 3 dimensions, you're not going to have those as much. You're going to have to be much more subtle to those. So you'll have to integrate them in a way, and then make sure you put a little tiny contact shadow if it's appropriate, and make sure you're placing it in a way that it feels really natural and looks like it's always been there. So also when you're doing this, make sure that you're not, especially up on this in this area right here, that you're not putting any like really big machinery up here, because you have to think of the appropriateness of the location and what you're putting on there. So right now I don't see any large machinery, and if they had, like a big tractor or something in here, then how would they get this tractor in and out, or how would they move it? And so so they don't, but they do have, like, these little medium sized, the small boxes and things like that can be peppered throughout this top. Also, other things like construction equipment or, whatever can be placed up here. So think about the appropriateness of what you are adding to the shot and where you're putting it. Before you jump into your shot, it's a good idea to review the library of construction site materials. Do a bunch of quick matte painting tests by dragging photos into your shot and doing quick integrations. You will soon be able to discern the appropriate reference you should use for your shot.